Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. Tonight I'm going to be doing a review of a very low-budget American horror film released in the year 2011, directed by Dorothy Burian, and this movie is called Blood Rites. Now this is a screener copy that was sent to me. I'm not sure if it has an official DVD release yet, but if it does, or when it does, hopefully this review will be interesting for you all. So the story to this one is as follows. It was supposed to be an easy deal for Jason and Nikki. Buy the drugs, cut them at the abandoned warehouse, then sell them on the street and rake in the cash. When the drug deal goes bad and Jason disappears, Nikki is trapped on an upper floor of the warehouse with a vicious ex-military enforcer, a gun shop victim, a violent addict, and his 3 hostages. Leaving the building is not an option. All the exits have been blocked, and somewhere in the darkness is something with a taste for blood and love of pain. The bad guys are being stalked by something worse. For a great demon demands to be born from the fiery depths of hell, and its faithful servant has planned a bizarre blood rite that will leave no vein untapped. Blood will flow, hell is coming. So we've got the main characters who are going on a drug deal. Now this drug deal was supposed to be easy. They were going to buy the drugs, they were going to cut the drugs in this abandoned warehouse, and then they were going to sell them and reap the rewards. But this drug deal ends up in a shootout, and one of these characters has been shot. So they take her back to the warehouse and she's dying, but she needs to go and see a doctor, but then they realise if she sees the doctor then the police will be onto them. So they're stuck in a real pickle here. And so they seek refuge in this abandoned warehouse on the first floor, and this is where they're going to be safe until they can figure out what to do next. Now it turns out that this is the least of their problems because all the exits in the warehouse have been blocked, and so they're being trapped inside this warehouse, and they're being picked off by an unknown presence that stays in the darkness. And this leads them to conclude that it might have something to do with the satanic ritual. So it's picking them off one by one, and the survivors have to find a way out of this warehouse if they are to survive the day. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know more, please go out there and have a look at this film for yourself. Now my thoughts on the movie. I had my hesitations. I was very skeptical coming into this one because it was an ultra low budget film, and ultra low budget has really disappointed me lately because it really is just not. It appears that they're just student films, and that's something that I don't like. And I know some people out there like that type of film, each to their own, but for me, I just can't get into them. So I had the kind of impression that this movie was going to be no different. Straight from the first scene, you know that it's a very low-budget film, but don't let that put you off because as far as low-budget films are concerned, this one is of the higher order. I was really happy with what I got as far as cinematography is concerned. The director captured a very eerie atmosphere very well, and it shows that you don't need a mega budget to create atmosphere. It has a very psychological element thrown into the film. You don't know what was stalking them until the end, and for that period that you don't know who was killing them, I actually thought there was a certain level of suspense that was gained as well. So it shows that if the director has a little bit more money in the future, he could come up with something really good, because with a limited budget, if you can create this mood, you've got a future in cinema. The camera angles were very good. It's something I haven't seen from this low budget film. He was creative in the way that he was doing the film, which I really liked. There was parts of the film where they were tripping out on drugs, and it was a very blurry sort of angle that the director took, and I thought that helped contribute to it. It felt like you were going on the trip with them. And if you can put the viewer in the shoes of the character, once again, that is a signal that this director has a future in the horror genre. Now, the acting, for the most part, was okay. I mean, it's nothing Oscar-worthy, but for a low-budget film, you don't expect that. There were some characters that were really badly acted, but there were others that were quite decent. So it really didn't take me out of the story. I could follow it along enough. It goes for 90 minutes, but in no way does it drag. I thought the continuity of the movie was decent, and the gore in it as well. It's not an overly graphic film, but there is a bit of gore in it, so it's going to satisfy some gore hounds out there. But the violence is few and far between. It was surprising that it was more psychological than gory. So that was my kind of horror, and if that's your kind of horror, then you're going to get something out of this one. Now, unfortunately, from all those positives, also the soundtrack is another positive that I want to mention. It was a very eerie sort of soundtrack as well. So, considering those positives, it was very disappointing that the negatives were very big negatives, and that kind of let the film down. Now, the biggest negative was the storytelling. It kind of goes in a way that you think you know what's going on, and it's a a fairly rewarding experience that you go through for the duration of the film. But when it comes to the ending, the director tries to do an M. Night Shyamalan twist, which really, really doesn't work, and it kind of doesn't make sense at all. And it kind of ruins the experience for me. I thought it was just really badly done, the ending. And as a result of that, I just thought it was just a waste of time, pretty much. All that build-up was amounting to nothing. So, yeah, very disappointed at the actual story. Some of the script wasn't, terribly flash. But, yeah, the biggest disappointment for the film was the ending. I thought it just completely ruined all the atmosphere and everything that the film was going towards. It was going towards a very spiritual kind of dark journey, and then it just turns into a twist that you don't see coming, because of the fact it's so ridiculous. I just thought it was a terrible ending, unfortunately. So as a result of all that, I'm giving this 2 out of 5, but don't let that put you off, because I will say that if you like low-budget horror, this one is definitely one to get. But, as I said, just the horrible ending mixed with some mediocre acting here and there, and just a little bit of inconsistency in the script, that prevents it from being a very good movie. I wouldn't say this is a great movie. I wouldn't say it was a good movie. I thought it was average. But for a low-budget horror film, this is one of the better ones. So 2 out of 5. It's an unfortunate score. With a better ending, it could have been a little bit better. But yeah, 2 out of 5. As far as low-budget horror films are concerned, I would say definitely go out there and give this one a go. But don't expect anything mind-blowing, because yeah, at the end it's a little bit of a cop-out. So that's my review of Blood Rites. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.